Mm-hmm.
Uh, you said, like company code currency and the reference currency. Suppose, the company code currency is Indian currency INR
Mm-hmm.
and document currency USD.
Mm-hmm.
So it can like do the translation or, convert the exchange rates based on that. But if you are, using the AUD, Australian dollars,
Mm-hmm.
then first it just transfer from AUD to Indian and Indian to USD, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is called a reference, like reference currency. Now, afterwards, you said you can also do transferring or converting between direct conversion of Australian dollar to USD.
Correct.
For that, you don't need a company code currency for a reference.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just simply company would simply do that direct conversions between Australian dollar to USD or whatever in a document currency to that group currency
No,
rather
that
than going through the reference currency?
no. Basically, company code currency is the currency that they maintain their books, right?
Yeah.
Now, whenever they want to see the, let's say in our case, INR is our company code currency and group currency is USD. Suppose we are posting a transaction in INR and INR gets converted into USD, that's a normal scenario. So that we can see our books, financial books, both in INR and as well as in USD. Suppose when I'm posting a transaction other than these two currencies, let's say AUD. Now whether you want AUD, anyways, AUD will get converted into INR. That's for sure, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to show our financial books at our company code level. Now the point is whether you want the USD to be converted via INR or directly between AUD and USD. That is what the business to take a call. I mean business to decide. If they want directly from AUD to USD, then straight away if you maintain the same thing as exchange rate and in our configuration, if you do that, that happens. But most of the companies they will convert the AUD into INR and from INR they convert into USD because you might find some differences in the exchange rates differences, right? So you are converting AUD into INR, INR to USD. Instead, if you directly convert AUD to USD, you might see a slight variation in that. Okay,
Okay.
so this is what the business to decide. How do they want to do?
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
No, no problem. So we don't have anyone in. Ravi, is anyone joining? Mudasar,
I think we should continue now.
because I'm I'm not finding anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's already 10 minutes past.
Yes, Nanda.
Yes, so what do we do now? So no one has joined.
Just start.
No was
Just start.
joined.
They'll join in few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they might get like 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. That's fine. Just keep starting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's not good, right? Yeah, just good.
Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about our basic, basic settings, and we discussed about the ledgers along with parallel currencies. So today we'll continue the same topic. I mean the ledgers and as well as the parallel currencies. Today's topic is also important topic, and a lot of changes on the S4 front. So we can see all of them today. Okay. So let me post a transaction. So before we go into that transaction, what are the ledgers we have from our company code perspective? So financial accounting global settings, ledger, and define settings for ledgers and currency types. So what are the ledgers that we have created so far? We have created three ledgers: 0L, AL, and BL. These are the three ledgers that we have created. 0L is our leading ledger, AL is our non-leading ledger, and BL is our simulation ledger. As I mentioned, so simulation ledger concept is a new concept in S4. Okay, earlier we used to call it as appendix ledger in S4 itself, but in the latest versions in S4, it is changed as a simulation ledger. In the simulation ledger, we have multiple options. I mean, simulation ledger, um, extension ledger. Extension ledger may contain multiple other options called extension ledger, simulation ledger, and predictive ledger. So we are discussing about the simulation ledger, and we'll also discuss about the we are discussing about the extension ledger, and we'll also discuss about the simulation ledger. Mainly the simulation ledger is used in the case of financial statement, sorry, uh, foreign currency revaluations. Okay, so we'll use this basically in the foreign currency revaluations, the simulation ledger. But anyways, let's see how it happens. Now, what exactly the difference between non-leading ledger and extension ledgers? Ledgers will occupy the space in our database, but extension ledgers will not occupy any space. Okay, it is just an extension. You can see them in our reports. We can see them in our, we can post some transactions exclusively to the relevant extension ledger. So this is about a background of ledger concept that we have discussed in the in our earlier classes as well. Okay, so totally we have got three ledgers. Let me post a transaction now. So we can post in two ways, right? So we have f-02, that's the one we have seen, f-02. Apart from that, we can also post in fb50. And we have one more transaction called fb01. Of course, we don't have a specific path for that, but we have ledger specific transaction using fb01 is there. This is the one. So when any transaction is ending with L, it means a ledger posting. You can post to a specific ledger group. Okay, let us post FB50. I'm posting. Now, the basic difference between FB50 and F-02 is in order to post a transaction in F-02 or FB01, you might have to move multiple screens to post a transaction. But in FB50, you will be in one screen to post the entire thing. And the other difference between these two is you can you can select here debit and credit, but whereas in F-02 or FB01, you will have to enter the posting key. Okay, so let's take the date 28/09/2019, and let's see our GL is 520,520,000, and I'm debiting here, crediting this 120,000, I'm crediting. Okay, let me put the amount as 7,500, 7,500. Now, since it is an expenditure requires a CO object. Let's say 5,000 is our cost center. 5,000 is our cost center. A document date does not exist. So I think 6,000. What is the other cost center we have created? 6,000, 7,000. Okay. 5,000 we have not created. Okay. Just to simulate it, this the transaction and save it. Document number is posted. This is the document number. Now let's go into a table. So in order to get into a table, the transaction code is SE16N. It's a new transaction code for table. We still have SE16. It's a old T code for table, but SE16N is a new table. It means it is there from new GL concepts from ECC. Okay, so go into AC Doka. AC Doka is also called as universal journal. On what basis we can say it is universal journal? Earlier, we used, in order to see a particular transaction detail, we used to go multiple tables. Like if a transaction involves material, and we used to go into FI transactions as well as the transactions. If you have a document number connecting with your profitability segment, we used to go into two different tables. If you have a transaction relating to sales, then again we used to go into different tables. But in AC Doka, you will have everything there in this. That is the reason why we call it as universal journal. Okay, AC Doka. A stands for actuals. There is another transaction. There is another table. It's called ACDOCP. The last letter is different. So that's for plan and this is for actual. Okay, AC Doka. I'm just selecting our company code 1248 and I will say the document number. What is a document number? I did not take, I think I've copied it, right? Let's see. No, I did not copy that. I'm going into FB03. You will find the latest one, one all zeros 12. I'll put the same thing over here and I will say 2019. Okay, just execute. So it means we have totally three ledgers, right? We have totally three ledgers, 0L, AL, and there is another one called BL. These are the three ledgers we can see. So these are the three ledgers activated to our company code also. Now, when you look at it over here in the table, you cannot see the simulation, extension ledger. You cannot see the extension ledger, 0L and AL. We can see only 0L and AL. AL is our non-leading ledger, whereas 0L is our leading ledger. Why we can't see the transaction relating to BL? Because BL is an extension ledger. As I said, the data gets updated into BL, but you cannot see that in the table. It means you will not have, I mean, the purpose of this extension ledger is not to occupy any space in the database. So because of that, you cannot see the data in the extension ledger. But if you go and see the reports, you would be able to see. Let me show you that. In the general ledger, let's go into environment. Let's see, not here. Yeah, information system, general ledger report, account balances, general ledger. Yeah, there is one transaction. S underscore PL0 underscore 86000030. Path for this is easy access, accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, information system, general ledger reports, account balances, general GL account balances, S underscore PL0 underscore 86000030. Just enter, put company currency type as 10. 10 is nothing but company code currency. Okay, selected 10 and select our company code 1248 and just scroll down. You have multiple other selection screen parameters, but I'm not considering. I just want to see the records in 1248 company code. Now, if you see over here, you can see a ledger. It's a report to see all the account balances. Now, if you see here, the ledger, what is our ledger? Extension ledger BL. Of course, you can see 0L AL. There is no problem because you can see that in our AC Docker table also. But the BL, we were not finding BL related stuff in AC Docker, but you can see that in our report. Okay, I'm just executing. I'm 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 selecting the classic drill down report. Just execute. Here you can see BL is our BL is our ledger. You can see the entire data. If you want to see, you can also see. Let me just double click on this account number, and this is what the total amount, and I can see I've selected this. Go into extras. You have an option called line items. If you select the line items, you can see all the line items of this. This is what the total. Our latest is what? One all zeros 12, right?
Nanda,
Yes.
can I tell you something why it's not showing? Because document date you put September. That's why.
No, that's fine. Because accounting document is that right? Posting date is important, right? That's
Okay.
fine. We should have still. I've selected BL only. BL is our ledger. One second, I'm just selecting 0L. You still can see. You can see all other transactions, but why this is not being appeared? Let's see that. So I'm just selecting this, going into extras, line items, one all zeros, 11. Here also we are not finding. Let me just see what is our.
See, I was to tell you at the same time because
Mhm.
I saw the document date was September, and that's why I thought, it's
No, 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 that's fine. That's fine. Posting date is important for us. Posting date is
uh,
today's date. The period is 7. This is not the problem. Okay, ledger, let's see the ledger we can find in the ledger. We can find in all other ledgers, but why that is not being appeared? It's a 7,500. It is 1 all zeros 12. Okay, so it's appearing all the other transactions are being appeared, but here it's not happening. Let me try it again. I'm going into again s underscore pl0 underscore 86000030 1248, selecting BL 2019 21 to 12. Okay, executing. Let's see the line items now. Extras line items. My God, oh sorry. No, it's a 7,500. This is not the one, right? One all zeros 12 is our. We can see over here. We can see over here. This is our transaction. One all zeros 12. Okay, because this document, this GL. I'll just give you some information. Okay, 5,20,000 is our GL, right? 5,20,000 is our GL. Let me get into the. Let me get into FS00, FS00, and 5,20,000. When you go into control data, here sort key is based on the posting date. Sort key is based on the posting date. Now if you see over here in this, if you see over here, it should be based on the posting key. Now I'm adding a field here in this. This is the layout for, this is the icon to change the layout, to add any new fields or to any remove new fields. These are the list has certain fields, right? All are here. Now you don't have posting date. Posting date should be here. Now here you have, if you don't find, you can select it and pick up from there itself. Posting date. You have this posting date. I want to select after document date. So select posting key, assign it onto the left side, right? And I'm just copying. Now if you see over here, this is totally based on the posting date. There are some transaction happened in September also. Okay. But if you see over here, this is the document that we were discussing, right? So we have posted it on today's date. So today's date is 20th July. So you can see 20th July. And after that, you have some more transactions happened in September. Okay. So this is what the sorting option. So based on the sorting option, you can see over here. So this is the amount that we have posted. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is, what I'm trying to tell you over here is the BL, this is an extension ledger. So extension ledger, if any transaction is happening to an extension ledger, the data space will not be occupied at all. Okay, so there won't be any space in the database for all these extension ledgers. You will have a data space available in AC Doka only for leading ledger and non-leading ledger. But if you want to see your reports based on the ledger, you can see there. Okay.
So Nanda,
Mhm.
so you said that it does not occupy any space when it comes to the extension ledger, right? But then
Mhm.
how the report can be generated, because report is getting data from somewhere in the from the systems, right?
That's what
So it
underlying ledger. Underlying ledger. It is based on the underlying ledger.
oh, okay, I see. Okay.
So here you have underlying ledger 0L. It means it triggers the 0L transactions. Also, it triggers the BL transactions. If at all I post any transaction directly to BL, it takes that and the underlying ledger also.
Okay.
So that is the concept. That is the reason why we have underlying ledger.
Oh, okay, now it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, okay, all right, okay, got it.
Now, I'm trying to post, let me try to post a transaction directly to BL. Okay, we have an option called manual postings not allowed. That also we will discuss. Okay, so, but in order to post transactions directly to BL, first is we require a ledger group. Of course, ledger group has already been created. Automatically, this gets created. As soon as we create a ledger, the same ledger is also be considered as a ledger group. This is the automatic process. If you see here, this is a BL and ledger assignment, you can see only one BL. Okay, now let me post a transaction, but in order to post a transaction specific to a ledger, we need one setting that we will see. So let me post a transaction in any one of transaction code ending with L. It means FB01L or FB50L. I can use anything. Now, if you see FB50, you're not finding any ledger group field over here. But if you look at it here, FB50L, you would be finding the same. You can see a ledger group. So I'm just posting. So 7th period 2019. I think I have entered manually 9 right earlier. Okay, that's fine. Now ledger group, if you drop down, if you select this drop down, you will find that BL. Okay, here BL. I'm selecting just BL. Let me select the same 5,20,000 debit, credit, and 1,20,000. Okay, so what I will say 9,950. Since it is an expenditure, expenditure requires a CO object. This is a cost center I'm taking. See, no document number found for entry view for document type SA for ledger BL. So that is the reason why I said we require one configuration for this. So what it is saying is for this ledger BL, you need a document number for this document type. So what exactly this thing is? I'm going back to the configuration. Okay, I'm just entering into the document. Now, if you see over here, document types, okay, and here document types in a ledger. It means what is the document type that you want to consider for this ledger. So path is the same we have seen already. Just execute. For BL, we don't have anything. Okay, so you can select your own, or since it is a, since we are posting through SA, so we can select SA. Yeah, SA. And what is the number that you want to consider? You can consider 01 or something else. Now let me try and post this transaction. Okay, I have entered. Now let me post this transaction again. FB50L. So let me take the data. So 5,20,000. This is debited, this is credited, amount 9950. I'll put star here and I'll enter cost center. Okay, I'm just simulating now. Yes, and if I want to save it, if I want to export to somewhere, word processing, all these things I can do. Print if I want. If you don't want, you can exit. Okay, and if you want to go into the details of this transaction, you have an option. Still, you can change. Okay, the next line item, prior line item. Okay, go to document, exit, or you can just take back. You will be here in this screen. Now, just save. You have a document number posted. It means you can see this transaction in one all zeros three, right? I'm going to B03. You can go from document and display from here. Also, you can go, you can see one all zeros three, and you can see here this data. Now, if you select general ledger view, the zero balancing clearing account should not come basically because the profit center is same. Okay, let's see. Now here, if you see the ledger, you can see BL only. If you see entry view, you can see this is the one. If you see the general ledger view, you can see only in BL. You cannot see the other ledger field at all here. You're not finding at all the other ledgers. But in all other transactions, we used to find this field here. Okay, because we have this transaction posted only in BL. Now, if I go into AC Doka, yeah, this is the transaction. If you see, you can see BL posted in ledger 0L, and other ledgers you can see all other ledgers. Because this transaction we have posted open to a ledger, it means it gets updated in all ledger, but the earlier transaction we have posted specific to a ledger. Now let's go into AC Doka table, SC16N, and let us take 1248 fiscal year 12 2019 and document number 1 all zeros 3. Just execute. Yeah, BL. You can see now here. You can see now over here. So since this transaction is happening directly, the transaction is happening only to the simulation ledger, extension ledger. It is updating the AC Doka, but it is not updating the other ledgers. Okay, it is not updating the other ledgers because we have posted only into this specific ledger. It is a specific ledger.
Okay,
That
Nanda. So
is
that
the
Nanda, that means it occupied the space, because since
exactly
even though it is extension ledger, because you are directly posting to this BL, it occupies the space.
exactly
Oh, I see. So it's not getting data from the OL while
right.
generating the
There is no
reports.
underlying
Right.
ledger for this
Okay.
because the transaction is posted directly in this BL. right? This
Right.
transaction is directly posted in BL, so no other ledgers are updating. Since the mainly for BL, 0L is important. 0L is underlying ledger. So since this transaction is not happening in 0L, since it is not updating 0L, then BL is taking the data in AC Doka, because I need this in a AC Doka table in order to take my reports. I need that in AC Doka table, right?
Right.
So that is the reason why you can see here now in AC Doka.
Okay.
The next thing is the next, yeah, this thing is important. Based on the number range we have here, system will trigger the number range from there. Okay. And the other thing,
Hmm. Uh, I still have one small query.
mhm, mhm,
Okay. In what scenario business will like to post
post
directly to specific ledger
specific ledger, it
and
means,
not to
see
the
the
leading
ledger,
ledger? Yeah,
yes,
not to the leading ledger, but directly to the
specific
either
non-leading
non-leading.
ledger.
Yeah, specific ledger.
See, as I mentioned, the ledger concept is used to capture for certain accounting principle like US GAAP, Indian GAAP, right? So you have some specific transactions to specific specific principles, right? In order to capture that, let us say at the end of the year, the auditor came in and he suggested to post a transaction. This is as per US GAAP. Now you cannot directly post this transaction because US GAAP should not affect all other books, right? US GAAP should hit only one ledger. It can be a leading ledger or it can be a non-leading ledger. It can be a simulation ledger. It can be an any extension ledger. So what I will do, I have created one extension ledger for the purpose of US GAAP, and according to the US GAAP, auditor suggested the business to post a transaction. So I'm posting this transaction by taking the extension ledger. That's it.
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing, I want to take it as manual posting not allowed. Now, if you see over here for AL and 0L, you don't have an option at all. The moment you consider as extension ledger, it can be extension ledger, simulation ledger, predictive ledger. In all the cases, you will have this field populated. Manual postings not allowed. It means the moment I select it and save it over here, system will not allow me to post any transactions directly to BL. If I post any transactions to 0L, or if I post any transaction open to any ledger, it gets updated. The transaction gets updated in BL. But when I try to post a transaction directly to BL, manual posting, it will not allow me to post. So let me discuss this thing. I have selected it. I'm saving it now. Once this is updated, let me go and post transaction. Yeah, this is taking a while, but that's fine. Now, so apart from that, we will also discuss about the parallel currencies. This will again take a while. Okay, so data is saved now. So let me post a transaction in the FB50L or anywhere FB01L. I'm just taking the same data SA, and whatever the document type that you are using, you need to maintain there in the configuration that we have seen little while ago. Okay, so now 40, I'm just selecting 5,20,000. See, ledger BL is blocked for manual posting, so it will not allow you to post. Okay, so manual postings it will not allow because we did mention this. So let me also create one more ledger for our simulation. Okay, let's create one more simulation ledger, but simulation ledger is again a kind of extension ledger, but simulation ledger we will use in the case of foreign currency revaluations. Okay, if you go here in the FAGL underscore FCV, there is a transaction code for the foreign currency revaluation. Okay, so in periodic reposting, not here, sorry, valuate. If you see over here, FAGL underscore FCV. So this is the foreign currency valuation. If you select it over here, you can see, you can find a ledger field here. Okay, in simulation run, if you see over here, it expects this thing, simulation ledger. You will have to enter the simulation ledger here. You will have to enter the simulation ledger, so that you know all my foreign currency valuations will get updated in my simulation ledger. And you have an option to delete also. You have an option to delete as well. Okay, so this is used basically in this case, but anyways, let me extend my company code to this extension ledger. So let me create CL. Okay, so 0L AL BL. Okay, let me create one for CL. CL is for ledgers for simulation. Now, this is not a standard ledger. It is an extension ledger. Within the extension ledger, this is a simulation ledger. And my underlying ledger is 0L. Oh, CL is already there, it seems. But we did not find. Okay, DL is also there, it seems. EL, let's take EL. EL. Okay, so I'm just saving now. Now, after creating the ledger, again, we will have to activate this ledger in our company code. So I've just saved it.
So Nanda, these also will not occupy any space since it's an extension ledger.
Extension
And
ledger, right.
oh, okay, I see.
Extension ledger concept is that whether it is an extension ledger, simulation ledger, or predictive ledger.
But it is a mandatory to give underlying ledger name.
Correct, correct,
Okay.
correct, correct. The whole concept of simulation ledger is the main difference between ECC and S4. It is ledger group EL is created only with ledger ELC. EL is also created ledger group with EL. It is an automatic process. So I need to extend this EL. I have just created EL, but there is no connection to our company code. And if I try to post a transaction without activating to my company code, and when I'm trying to post a transaction, it does not get updated in EL. If you see in this list in the define ledgers setting in this, you have some hundreds of ledgers, but when I'm posting a transaction, it is not updating in all ledgers. Only those ledgers which are activated to our company code are getting impacted. So similarly, I've just created EL at a client level. This is what we are calling it as client level. It means all these ledgers are applicable to all company codes created in this client, in this system. So now the moment you create any ledger, and you need to activate to the concerned company code, that is important.
So that means if anybody wanted to generate any report for this particular ledger, they can,
Mhm.
give different, company code. So it generates the report for that particular company code with this.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
I see. Okay. So
Suppose
anybody
EL
can
is
cross. Yeah.
activated. Yeah, EL is activated, and there are two company codes. Let's say 1000 and 2000. I have activated to 1000 only. It means whatever the transactions I'm posting in EL for this company code, I can able to see only them. This is one scenario. The other scenario, I have two company codes, 1000 and 2000, and I have posted $10,000 to 1000 company code, $20,000 to 2000 company code. And when I want to see my report based on EL, and if I select my company code as 2000, I would be able to see all other transactions. Apart from that, I would be able to see $20,000 transaction also, because this 20,000 transaction has already been posted to this particular ledger. And if I select my company code as 1000, and I would be able to see all the other transactions. Apart from that, I would be able to see $10,000 transaction. Make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've selected ledger EL, going into new entries. Now here I'm selecting 1248, and what I'm saying is posting period variant. Ours is 1248 is as posting period variant PO. Posting period variant 1248. Here is the, okay. Just enter EL, an entry already exists with the same key. Okay, let's see that. Let me just see now. Company code 1248. Yes, you can see this. So it is happening automatically. Normally it should not happen, but I don't know why it is happening. Okay, we will have to enter that here. Okay, so 1248 we have selected. It's there under this ledger. So I'm just saving now. It is not the right behavior. We will have to come here and create, maintain the same thing. This is not the right behavior. So we will have to maintain it over here. Now, since it is already activated to our company code, whenever I'm posting a transaction, now let's see FB01. So FB01, F-02. In order to post a transaction, we will have to move multiple transactions. 2807-2019 SCA and 40 5,20,000, and I will say 10,250. I'll say cost center as 7,000. I'll say testing 50. My posting key credit bank account I'm taking 10,250. Okay, go to document, simulate, and just saving. Now if you go to document display, you can see general ledger view, same is happening. Okay, 0L. In the case of other ledgers, you can see EL. Okay, and if you go into AC Doka, AC Doka table, and if I select company code 1248 and 2019, and if I say just document number, this is not the document number. FB0312. I don't think this is the relevant transaction. Let me just figure that out. So 2019, if I want to see, let us select this document list. I will say own document, and entry date is today's date, 28th July 2019. Then I would be able to see the data. This is the one. Okay, this is the one. So one all zeros 13. Just enter the same over here and execute. See, you can see in 0L and you can see in AL. So simulation ledger will not hold any space in AC Doka in database, I would say. Any questions?
No.
Okay, right. So next, let's jump on to the parallel currencies. Let's jump on to the parallel currencies. So we have already activated the group currency. The parallel currency, the concept of parallel currency is apart from the company code currency, if the business wants to see the reports in other currencies, then parallel currency, the concept will come into picture, right? So the parallel currencies, as part of parallel currencies, currently we have we have an option to maintain multiple currencies apart from the company code currency, group currency. We have option to maintain other currencies, some 8 or 9 currencies available in the system currently. So let's discuss them now. So group currency we will maintain in SEC4. Group currency is maintained at a client level. Client in the sense we have entered while entering this system in SAP system. Once we select this GUI, right, and once we select it here, we have on the top we have one client, right? On the top we have a client. So this 800 is a client. So the group currency is maintained at a client level, whereas hard currency is maintained at a country level, and global company currency is maintained at a company level, not company code level, company level. Yesterday or day before yesterday, sometime back we have seen that as well. Okay, now let's go into currency types. Make sure the relevant currency types are maintained. Here 00 is our document currency, 10 is our company code currency, 30 is our group currency, hard currency 40, and index based currency. This I have not checked so far. I will check it and I'll come back to you on that. Then here we have global company currency. So let us take these now. Okay. Now here currency conversion settings, double click on currency conversion settings. Okay. Now here for our company code 1248. So I'm selecting 1248. And if you see over here, we have group currency maintained and we have mentioned as company code currency as a base. Now, similarly, we will have to maintain for hard currency and global company currency. So in order to maintain them, go to new entries, go to new entries, maintain for the other currency types which you want to maintain for that for this company code. And once we post a transaction, we can able to see them.
So Nanda, we are doing configurations for a currency here as well as in also NetWeaver, two places.
No, we will be doing here itself.
Okay.
I'm not sure about NetWeaver part, but we will be doing here.
Like, you go to the NetWeaver and general settings, and under that it's a currency.
Currency codes. Are you saying currency codes or currency types?
The setting for the all currency, including currency type, exchange rate, direct,
Let
indirect,
let's
what,
see.
everything.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see that. Okay, 40. I'll just say 10 here, and the exchange rate type as average M and translation date. Similarly, I'll maintain for the next one 1248, and here I'll say 60, 60, right? Global currency is 60, right? Yeah, global company currency is 60, and similarly I will say 10 here, M and translation date. Just saving. So what are you saying? Are you saying in the NetWeaver SPRO, and here are you saying about here SAP NetWeaver? Hello, sir.
Oh, sorry, I was on a mute. I thought, I was talking. I said, okay,
Yeah. So
okay,
are you
currency.
saying about this one?
Yes. So
No,
this is all
currency
the settings
codes.
for the current
Currency
currency
codes, not
code.
currency types.
No, I mean like all different kind of currency. Like half of the currency you configure in the screen you are showing us. Now half of the currency you are setting up in this menu. Like
No,
decimal
these are
place
the
defines.
no currency codes. These are INR, USD. For every country, we have a specific currency, right? All these are here. You can create your own, but these are all the standard SAP gives. But still, if you want, we can create using Z. If you see over here, you can find some Z.
Yes.
I don't know whether these are the real currency or not sure, but normally what we will do, we will create any currencies with Z.
Yeah. But you also can, define direct, indirect quote, also exchange rate and
I'm not talking about all these things. This is different altogether. This is something relating to exchange rates.
okay.
When you are posting foreign currency transactions, then how the system to consider that information is here. But I'm not talking about the foreign currency revaluation set. I'm talking about the parallel currencies. Yes, I understand in the parallel currencies when how does the system get updated into the other currencies, right? When I'm posting a transaction in USD, how does the system get updated in global company currency? My global company currency may be Canadian dollar. How USD will convert into Canadian currency based on the exchange rate? That's fine, but I'm not talking about the exchange rates at all now. I'm just talking about the parallel currencies. Got my point?
Yes.
Because in all our earlier transaction, document currency was USD, and company code currency was USD. Group currency was also USD. So there was no concept of the currency exchanges came into picture. Now here we have added hard currency and global company currency. Hard currency, I think we made it as euro or Canadian dollar. I don't remember, but anyways, we can check them. Those things
Euro,
will happen. Sorry.
euro.
Okay. So those things will happen based on the exchange rates that we will be discussing in some time. Okay, data saved, right? Now, the company code, in this company code currency, we have two more currencies added. Yeah, see, if you see over here, hard currency is Canadian dollar and global company currency is euro. This is maintained at a company level and this is maintained at a country level. Now, apart from those two currencies, we have, I mean, apart from document currency, company core currency, and global currency, we have two more currencies now. So, hard currency and as well as global company currency. So, let me try and post a transaction now. So, these two currencies are activated to our company code now. Now, if you see 1248, so let me in simultaneously let me post this transaction as well. FB01. So take the date, come document type, 40 posting key, 5,20,000, and I will say 17,500 cost center and 6,000 50 posting key for credit. Bank account is my credit account 17,500. That's it. Now I'm saving. Let me take a different profit center. Let me take a different profit center. What is the profit center? Let me see. We have selected 6,000 as a cost center, right? So let me just see. So for cost center master, we have a we have a table CSKS. Just go into CSKS. Our controlling area is 1248. Just execute. You can see cost center master. So for 6,000, what is the profit center we have? You can see over here 12,000, right? The profit center is 12,000. Let me take 10,000 as a profit center on the credit line item. It means on the debit line item, I have considered 6,000 cost center and profit center was 12,000. Whereas here, if I don't enter anything, it will copy from the other line item. But I'm selecting a different profit center here. So profit center, I'll say 10,000. Okay, I'm just entering now, going into document, simulate. I can see the details
Guys,
now
if you
here.
have any issues, please talk to Nanda directly. Sometimes he might miss the chat message. Okay, appreciate that.
Okay, so anyone is messaging anything?
I was messaging, because your voice is too low.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is my voice low?
now is okay.
Okay. So now 40, I'm just double clicking on the 40. I can see a cost center as 6,000. When I go into more details, because I don't have profit center field appearing here, so I
Nanda,
can see
I
more.
just talked to that server guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, bear with patience. This is not a professional system like a client is providing a system. So we are requesting and begging everybody to have these classes done. So have little more patience. And I talked to the server guy right now. He is in Vizag. I can share his number if somebody wants to talk to directly. I've just talked to him on the call. Monday they are available, basis team. So they will fix the server. Okay, the updates are going on. So please bear with patience. This is not a professional system, and this is definitely not a legal system. Okay, we are doing something offline. SAP system doesn't provide without paying their lakhs of rupees for the licenses. This is a this is not a really professional system. So please understand. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Raghu. Okay, so based on cost center 6,000, system triggered profit center as 12,000, but whereas in the other line item, I'm going into the other line item, 1 lakh 20 is our this thing. And when I go into more, it is showing as a profit center. It means profit centers are different here. Now we should have a document splitting. Okay, so when I go into document display, one all zeros 14 is my document number, right? And if I see my ledger view, I should be having this way. This is what a proper zero balance clearing account. So zero balance clearing account will come into picture only when the profit centers are different between debit and credit. But in our case, it is happening even if the debits and credits are have the same profit center. But that is not the right way. That is not the right approach from the document splitting front. Okay, now what I'm trying to tell you here is the currencies. Now we have updated two more currencies, but still you're not finding over here. Still we find document currency, local currency, and group currency only. Okay, group currency only. So I don't know whether I have completed. You can find them in the, yeah, I have to miss something. One more thing I have to do. Okay, so I have just activated here, right? Now I have just activated to the company code. I have to do one more settings. Now I'll show you. So the transaction, I'm going back to the transaction. I still not see that. Of course, you will not be able to see. Now, when I'm going into a table using this document number, going into table SC16 and okay, AC DOCA and company code 1248, fiscal year 2019, document number this, and when I execute it over here, now if I just double click on the 0L, it means I'm selecting based on 0L. Now, if you see over here, currencies, I'm scrolling down. Now, if you see here, we have transaction currency. Yeah, the balance in transaction currency, company code currency, and global currency. But we are not finding hard currency and all other things. right? All other things. So since this line item is happening on 0L, so we have to do one more configuration. So it means just go into the ledgers. Either you will have to select a leading ledger or non-leading ledger. Any leading ledger or any non-leading ledger. You need to select. Why only leading and non-leading ledger? Because in AC Doka you can see only leading and non-leading ledgers information. So I've just double clicked on the ledgers. Yes. So let me go into, let me take back. You can see 0L, right? In the 0L, select 0L, double click on company code settings. Here, for our company code 1248, 1248, we have local currency, I mean company code currency and global currency. And you have some more currencies, I mean 8 currencies can be added further. So I'm adding 40 here, and I'm adding the other currency. What is the other currency? Global company currency, right? 70, no, 60. Hard currency 40, global currency 60. I'm just saving now. Okay, just say you're trying to add a new currency type to a combination of company and a ledger. You can easily change the currency configuration if no postings exist. So this is critical. I mean, once you add it, if you want to remove, you will have a lot of impacts on the reporting front. So that is the reason why it is giving you some hint. I'm just saying as S. It normally takes little time because it is updating all other tables, right? So it will take little time, but in our current system, since we have some issue, it will take little more time.
Hey Nanda,
Mhm.
uh, like AC Doka,
Mhm.
you can get all the informations, but provided you have a document numbers, right? If you do
Yes.
not have a document number, then you have to go to the different table, pertaining to that. For example,
No.
if you wanted to see the data for a profit center, you have to go to CSKS.
C CEPC for
Yeah,
profit center, CSKS for cost center.
yeah,
No,
cost
my
center.
no,
Yeah,
my
but
AC DOCA is for transactional data only. You will not be able to see any master data or any configuration in AC DOCA, both in AC DOCA and AC DOCP. AC DOCA is just like your BKPF and BSEC and MSEC. Lot we have many, the what I can say is the combination of many, what do you call, many tables.
like BSIK, BSAK, BSID.
BSIK, BSAK, BSID, BSAD, all are open item related. Yes, you can see there here also.
Yeah, on
All
Acidoka.
transactions, yes. The transaction data, it means it is based on the document number. But whereas if you want to see BSID, BSAD, you can able to see based on a customer. But here it is based on the GL. Of course, you can select the GL and you can select the the customer vendor, but it is basically transaction data. You will not be able to see any data relating to the configuration, relating to the master data. You can see only the transaction data. It can be a open item or non-open item.
So that means we can continue using the old tables, right? Whatever in ECC 6.0, all the tables we can still see in S4 HANA.
We can see, but over the period of time you will not be able to view them at all. Now at the moment it is like the view kind of tables, but over the period still you can able to see bsec, but bsec won't be there after some time, because SAP still needs to do something on this before they remove all these kind of tables. BKPF will be there, but BSEG won't be there. BSID, BSAD won't be there. BSIK, BSAK, all those won't be there.
So you're talking about transactional data, but what about master data level, master data
Master
data?
master data related tables are all going to be there as it is. SKA1, SKB1,
Oh, okay.
LFPA1, LFB1, KNA1, KNB, all will be there.
Oh, so they are not trying to combine those tables into one, like
Master
that.
No, AC Doka is universal general. It means you can see all types of transactional information. You can see, uh, suppose earlier BSEG, we used to see only the financial data. But if I want to see the material related information, we used to go into MSEG table. But this is not the case now. Okay, so let me get into the transaction. The data is ready now. FBL1N, I'm just selecting the same data. 40, I'll say 5,20,000, and I will say 22,500. Cost center, I'll say 7,050. I would say 1,20,000, 22,000. Okay, if you want, I can consider a different profit center. I'm saving it directly. Now I have a document 1,15,000. I'm just displaying. In the case of change, you can change only the data relevant to text, or payment terms, or assignment, those things. You cannot change cost center, you cannot change the amount at all. So you can see here in the general ledger view, of course, you can see in all other ledgers, right? You can see in all other ledgers. But if you see the currency, you can see now document currency, local currency, group currency, hard currency, and global currency. On what basis you can see it is based on 0L. Now I'll tell you one thing. I'm just in the initial screen in the entry view. I'm not in any general ledger view. If I select a document currency, I still see only these three. And when I select 0L, and I can see now all those currencies. But when I select other ledger, let's say AL, and if I select document currency, I still see three only. Why? Because the currencies 40 and 60 have been updated to 0L only. It means in order to update additional currencies, we need a ledger. You cannot do this directly to any of the company code. So you are maintaining over here. So since it is maintained at 0L level, and if you select over here 0L, if you select 0L, and you can see in the multiple currencies. Of course, our document currency is USD, and local currency again USD. Local currency in the sense company code currency USD, and group currency again this is also USD. This is the one we have maintained in the controlling area. And the next is global company currency, which is nothing but euro.
Nanda, your volume, I mean, your voice is too low.
How is it now?
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have selected now the global company currency, and the currency at the header level is USD. But if you see over here amount in in this currency along with the currency, this is what the local currency 22,500 USD and converted into 17,300 as euro. How did we get this amount? This is based on the exchange rate we've maintained. Whatever the exchange rate is maintained here current in this system in transaction code OB08 or S underscore BC underscore 68 000 something we have, right? 37 or 34 we have, right? So there you have this exchange rate maintained. So based on that you can see. Now the next, if I go into the hard currency, I still can I can see that the currency is at, we posted at USD. Now you can see Canadian dollar. So this is the Canadian dollar amount when I posted this in the local currency. Now if you go back to hard currency or group currency, you can see now USD in both the cases. Any questions here? Okay, so any questions?
No.
Fine. So let's stop it here because it is little heavy topic for today. Okay, so I want you to run through all the recordings, get used to of this. Then tomorrow we will continue some small topics like, you know, recurring documents, parking documents, holding documents, sample documents, and we can see some reports both in the cost centers and the GL level. We can see some report.
Hey, Nanda, sorry.
Mhm,
I have one question. Like, since extension ledger does not occupy any space, but the
mhm.
non-reading ledger does occupy the space, then in that case, why company would not go for all extension ledger rather than defining non-reading ledger because it
You can
occupies a lot
go.
of space.
No, you
There is,
can go.
yeah.
That's an
Uh,
optional. So
Oh,
creation of non-leading ledger is not at all a, a mandatory thing. Creation of leading ledger is mandatory. You can ignore non-leading ledger,
okay.
but you may have certain situations, right? You want a non-leading ledger for specific purpose, and you want to post some transactions into that. And apart from that you have some other transactions also to be posted which you don't want to be in the leading non-leading ledger, so you will be creating a non-leading ledger for that. And in order to capture certain other transactions, you can create a simulation ledger, I mean the extension ledger. The non-leading ledger is not at all a mandatory thing. That's the provision we have from the SAP front.
Oh, okay. So based on your experience, you work on so many different clients. You know that
Have
client.
we required?
Yeah.
Yes.
So client, the most of the time goes with the non-leading ledger, or since they can get advantage of saving the space and processing the data very fast, they use
Non-leading
extension
ledger.
ledger.
No,
They,
non-leading ledger along with extension ledger.
oh, so they still use non-leading ledger.
Exactly.
Okay.
They still use non-leading ledger. Okay,
All right.
fine. Go through all the recordings tomorrow. We will continue.